I got the details for this from the website pavingexpert.com. I don't know if you've come across it, but it's a brilliant website written by an ex-landscaping contractor, and he's not got any kind of degree or other qualification, but he's got lots of experience and his father's experience. So he recommended this in well-drained soils as being simpler than the conventional big hole in the ground.
How do you get on building control?
Pardon?
How do you get on building control?
Oh, well, sometimes they're intrigued and they defer to me. In fact, they did defer to me with this, and I actually sent them some calculations. I think they were quite amused by the calculations, showing that this was the amount of trench needed to dispose of the rainwater from the patio and the roof. So the house has actually quite large south-facing windows, but because it's long and thin, they don't look very large. They look in proportion. But the south-facing windows are 20% of the floor area. That's frames plus glass. And I think if you did this to a timber frame house, it would overheat.
That's the biggest problem.
It would be uncomfortably warm in sunny weather from about April to October.
Yeah.
I don't get any overheating in this house at all, and I've still got measures in reserve which I'm going to add. So this house is definitely a way to keep cool in the summers of the future.
Why don't you get the overheating?
Because it's
Why don't you get
thermal
the
mass,
overheating?
thermal mass. It's just you get the same result if you used masonry, dense concrete block walls and concrete floors. I've got concrete everything except the non-load bearing partitions, but if you used non-load, if you had the load bearing structure, the walls of concrete block, and the floors also heavyweight, that should be enough to control overheating. You can make the windows a bit smaller. I might, if you were building in the average location, you might not want such enormous windows, but I partly did it to show that you can also get a house that is extremely light by day, even in the dark months like November, December, January, because we get far too much sunlight in Britain, and most people like having a lot of sunlight in their house. So why on earth do we build houses with tiny windows?
We were talking about
I
that
know.
today.
Because the windows in developer-built UK houses are tiny, and
Yeah.
they're even encouraged to make them tiny by building regulations guidance
We were discussing
Well,
that
and
as well.
planners as well. Yes.
by planners.
Well, round, in the national park, some classic, fairly small windows.
Oh yeah, well the old houses are small windows, so
Yeah.
maybe they're trying to match the old
Yeah.
houses.
So I need to ask a few questions about.
Would you like to go in, or are you
No,
still okay?
if everyone else is happy, I'm happy to stand outside. I've got lots of clothing on.
Do you need a jacket?
I'm surviving. I'm surviving.
I know.
I'm surviving. You don't look very warm.
Okay, let's go inside then. We'll talk inside.